Hello, this is Mazi Anyanwu, and I choose to be speaking um, on creation because we have all gotten the concept of creation wrong, you know, because based on the stories that we were told and the things they taught us through various religions and various cultures, there tend to be this notion that creation started when physical things came to be. But it's not so, because there was life before the physical life, which when we talk about the physical life, we talk about mortal life. There was life before that, because existence goes beyond the physical. And that is why we understand from where I come from. It is a common concept that we are humans as well as spirit. Now, saying that there's a spirit that lives in us is an understatement, and it's a wrong presentation. We are spirits that inhabits a body. For example, I am a spirit, but I live in this flesh and blood. That is where I live. But I am a spirit. Now, why did we say so? Because the spiritual life began before the physical life. So we cannot talk about creation, or we cannot say anything about creation except we understand the spiritual life. So even when they tell you about science, people who are, most scientists will agree with me that spirituality is advanced science, because what we discuss in the realm or concerning the spiritual life are things that practically you will see the evidence, even though most of them are spiritually done, but then you see the evidence will manifest physically, because all truths are parallel. So we cannot talk about a physical creation of the world without talking about the spiritual existence that was existing before the world was created. The feeling or the thought to create a physical world was lost by certain elements, and it was lost at a certain place. So before you see the physical sun and the physical earth. Now, if you read most scriptures, you get the drift when they say that in the beginning there was light, and the light neither came from the sun nor from the moon, but there was light. Now, what they were trying to tell you, introduce to you about a world that did not know the night. There was a world where darkness does not exist. Now, that world is a spiritual world. It is from that particular place that then the conclusion of creating the earth and the sun, and then starting to create all the things that are in it, began to manifest. But if we don't understand what transpired before that, before the physical creation, when men were immortal, when men were dwelling and dining and living in the land of gods. So this is the area that we all need to understand. And that is why when we talk about those who were here before, the very people that came at the very beginning, we refer to them as gods, because they did not lose their ability. They still had the ability. And funny enough, none, I repeat, none of them died. They didn't taste death because they were above death. They had nature in their palms. They understood nature and they worked with nature. So, but as that time goes on, because of we have compromised in so many levels of life, because we have really reduced our mindset to a level, that is why we now became elements that can be pushed around by certain circumstances. For example, the condition called death. Now, there is nobody you will meet on earth today, especially in this era, in this generation, that is not afraid of dying. Because man have lost the control man has over death. Now, telling you about people who never died, who lived, and then they all of a sudden they ascended the next level without tasting death. It sounds like something that is out of reach, but it was a common thing in the era of those who were before. Now, when I said the Igbos and creation, I want to drag you or bring you to a place that you will understand that we're the first people that inhabited this particular earth. We have evidences, we have proofs, we have things that have proven to us beyond all human doubts that this particular Igbos, these people called Igbos, that they were not just ordinary people. Their ancestors were not just ordinary people. These were extraordinary men, humans, who practically lived the life of God here on this planet Earth. Why? One, these are people that by some level of supernatural life, it was not difficult for them to disappear at a particular place and appear at a particular place, which what we call teleporting today. It was common. It was like as if you were strolling. Everybody was doing it. And that is why they were able to anchor and drop their signature tune at all the places at the whole four corners of this particular age. They were everywhere. They were everywhere. What is that signature tune? The pyramids. Now people have been wondering how was these people able to build the pyramid? They looked at the stones, the heaviness of the stones, how many tons the stones weighed, and they are not imagining. But the mistake we are all making is that we are looking at physical fit people. We are imagining the physical strength of those who must have lifted those bricks and then who must have set those things. But then we forgot that it's not about physical strength alone. These people that built these pyramids were also intelligent. They were extraordinarily intelligent. They were extraordinarily gifted. So it has nothing to do with their physique, but it has everything to do with the spirit man that was in them. And that if you understand it this way, you will know how possible it was for them to lift those loads. Because you lift it with your mind. You can pull down an aeroplane with your mind. You can lift a plane up with your mind if you understand how it's done. So these are people that had control of nature. They had control of their environment. They can do whatever they want to do because they knew that that the spiritual life is superior to the physical life. So they spent all their life living their life in the spiritual realm, even though they were existing in the physical world. So they were able to do extraordinary things that only the spirits can do. So these were wonderful generation that lived and registered their mark here on earth. They did extraordinary things, marvelous things, wonderful things you can't even imagine being possible in our today's world with all the technologies that we had. Because they were people that were not distracted. They had their complete focus. They were in charge of their spirit, soul, and body. They were in charge of their environment. They had everything. They had it all together. So that was why they lived that life. They did what only gods can do. And that is why we know today that they are gods. So you and I know that we are descendants, we are children of these gods. And we are expected to live like them because their knowledge, their wisdom is beyond reach. The strength they exhibited physically because of the power that runs through their mind, through their spirit. The strength they exhibited physically was something that was mind-blowing. Even up to date, we are still talking about it, how the Egyptian pyramids were built. Now, I keep telling people, I keep saying something to people. We know how old the Egyptian pyramids are, but we have pyramids that have stayed thousands of years before the Egyptian pyramid. These pyramids are small. This is an evidence to tell you that it is this same Igbo people, this same people, this same breed. They were the people that were responsible for all the pyramids, both the ones you see in America, the ones you see in Asia. because it says it's their signature tune. First of all, they use most of these places as a place of final rest. Now, they also use it to register their presence in a particular place because they understand the kind of energy that the pyramid attracts, because it's all about energy. It's all about energy. That is why they were able to do tremendous things, because when the energy comes, because that it is that energy that will activate your mind, activate your spirit, and also give you that extra push when it comes to physical energy. And they understand this. So how were they involved in creation? Now, let me tell you something. It is only in the Igbo history that you, as a person, can understand what happened before the physical sun and the physical earth was created. They will give you a glimpse of what happened to tell you that they were there before the physical creation. So if they were there before the physical creation, that means they were the first. Even after creation, they were the first that settled on this particular planet, on this part of life that we know today. So if anyone is going to tell you the history, how the earth was created, it is them. But you see, unfortunately, we've embraced religion, and most of these religions are telling you what happened 6,000 years ago. And you and I know that the earth has been here millions of years, millions of years. So it's not about, we're not talking about thousands of years. We are talking about millions of years. So somebody is telling you about 6,000 years ago, about 7,000 years ago. It's laughable. It's laughable. It's a story you can tell to a child. So when we talk about people that really know that they were there when the creation thing started, we are talking about this breed. We are talking about the ancestors of the people called Igbo today. Those that built these wonderful empires. And they gave, see, funny 18, they gave most of the nations their name. Because even China is called Chiana. Chiana. You see the names, they are the ones that gave most of the nations their names based on how they perceive the environment, what they understand about the energy that is at the environment. They gave most of these places their names. They gave all the names. So you need to understand that. And that is why it is a pity that we allowed, for a very long time, we allowed the people that do not understand the implications of lies to tell the history of the creation of the world. And because of what they did, look at the way everything is turned upside down. People have lost it. Why? Because we do not understand it. We don't understand the concept of life. We don't understand, because if you understand how this earth came to be and why it came to be, you'll be able to appreciate life at the level you are expected to appreciate it. You'll be able to understand the concept of life, what it means to truly, truly, truly show love and understanding to others. How peaceful that this earth is meant to be. You cannot understand it from the concept of lies. There is nothing lies breed than violence. There is nothing like lies breeds than hatred. And that is why you see somebody who will tell you about love, but his heart is full of hatred. His action speaks of hatred. Why? Because he does not understand what he's saying. He's saying it because he just wants to say it. Because he feels that it is normal for him to convince you that he is for real. But the fact still remains that a man that lied to you and never looked back, a man that lied to you and never considered how you will fail, that particular man, that particular man, that particular woman do not appreciate the truth and can never celebrate it, because his spirit is filled with lies. And what we are to do in this particular place, in this particular place, in this particular platform, what I am to do is to make sure that I diffuse those lies, is to make sure that I expose those lies, is to make sure that I bring the truth to you free of charge. So we are going to be having a very long ride. There might be bumps, there might be obstacles, there might be obstructions. But I promise you, if you hang in there with me, if you flow with me, because when we talk about creation, we're going to start from creation. It's not going to be a day job. It's not something I will tell you in 2 or 3 minutes or in 1 hour or in 1 day. It's something I need to break down to you, for you. And while we are discussing it, we will be moving maybe from one place to another in order for us to stress and be able to explain the point. Because what I'm telling you is the truth. The truth, at times, the truth is always bitter. But I want to present it in a way that the bitterness will not be too harsh for you to swallow, so that you'll be able to swallow it and still hang in there, because it's the truth. And while we are discussing about the problem that is already existing because of the lies that we're told, we'll also talk about the solutions, the possible solutions, if we are able to apply them. So I want you to subscribe to this channel. I also want you to invite your friends, invite as many as you can, because we will be we will be having a very wonderful ride on this platform, on this train, and I believe that it will take us to the place of truth. So once again, I want to appreciate you. I want to thank you for bringing out your time to listen to what I'm saying. I will be coming live. I'll be coming live almost every day. Given the opportunity, I'll be coming live almost every day. So I want you to subscribe and also give us a thumb up if you really love the truth. So we are going to be telling you nothing but the truth. We will not hide, and we will not keep anything away, from you. All the truths that we know, we will expose them. We will lay them on the table. So I hope, and wonderfully, I'm believing that you will be with us throughout this journey. I'm hoping that you will be with us throughout the journey. So once again, I thank you all for tuning in, and I thank you all for being part of this wonderful broadcast. So I'm going to come to you again tomorrow, and I'm asking you to invite as many as you can. Let's see. Please, if you have listened to this and you really want us, because I'll be giving you evidence and proofs, and you really want us to go deep, and you want to encourage what we are about to do or what we are doing, please subscribe, so that you will know when I'm going to come on air. I promise that I'll be coming every day, but honestly, I do not know how and how the timing will be, but I'll be on air practically every day to give you the truth. I'll try to be on air in the morning, and since there are time differences depending on where you are watching me, I would like you to subscribe so that you will easily, whenever we have a new tape, especially tapes that will be dealing with the truth about life, about spirituality, really about African spirituality, and then I want to tell you how and why it is more superior, not because I'm an African, but because it is the beginning of all faith. It's where faith began. It is where faith began, especially those of you who have heard the stories of the Egyptian mythology. Africa have something that is bigger and that is more deeper than that. What happened in Egypt is a demonstration of the little in a whole broader picture of what we have to offer. So I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and try to be part of what we are doing. Once again, I thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.